What's going on, guys? TymeStopper here, coming at you with a brand new video series called Broken Builds. That's right, these hero loadouts are completely broken thanks to the new Team Perk Happy Holidays. So pretty much all the hero builds we're going to see in this series are going to be focused around that Team Perk. But before we get into the builds, guys, I would like to remind you I do stream over on Twitch every Monday through Friday starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you'd like to discuss these builds or maybe even found some other broken builds you want to let us know about, come on over, hang out. The link to my channel is going to be in the video description down below. Now, let's get into these builds. The first build that we're going to be talking about is Unlimited Teddy. That's right, it's back and it's broken as ever. For you guys that have been around for a while, you know what Broken Teddy is. Basically, as soon as you basically have unlimited uptime on your Teddy. So as soon as you drop one Teddy, it goes through its entire Teddy cycle. By the time the Teddy duration is done, you already have another Teddy ready to go. All right, so with this first build, the Unlimited Teddy build, we are going to be running the Enforcer Grizzly in the Commander slot. We are running Happy Holidays for our Team Perk as we are in all of our builds for this series. We do have, in order to keep the bear up as much as possible, we are going to run Fragment Generation and Impossibility Matrix to make sure that we are generating as many fragments as possible. We are going to give ourselves a little bit of DPS under there with our Berserker and under warranty. Now, we aren't running any survivability on this build, so what we're going to do is we're going to put Ghoulish Cackle in there. That way we get a little extra DPS there at the end in order to finish off any remaining enemies in case we are low in health. Our gadgets, we're going to be running our Hover Turret and then Adrenaline Rush in order to make sure that we are able to stay alive a little bit. Sometimes you'll have so many Teddies you won't even know what to do. I found myself as I was going through this on many occasions getting to the point where I would drop a Teddy and I would be waiting for that Teddy to finish because I already had another one ready. Now, my recommendation is as soon as you go into any of these missions looking for the Unlimited Teddy is go ahead and grab yourself one charge fragment to get started. And then basically you will have unlimited Teddies the entire time with this build because you're essentially generating fragments constantly. Most of the time you can't even use these things fast enough. This guy is just going gangbusters, as you can see in the video footage. I'll drop a Teddy, I'll wait, I'll drop another Teddy, and it's just back to back to back Teddy action. There's very little shooting you even have to do with this. Now, with Grizzly, we do have the ability to drop the Shock Tower as support if we need to. I also do bring turrets along with me most of the time just to be on the safe side. And then, of course, I do have the Adrenaline Rush just to be on the safe side as well. That way I have it as a heal just in case. But you can see, guys, it's just one Teddy, and as soon as this Teddy is done, he's just standing there waiting. No shots, just standing behind the Teddy, nothing better to do. And as soon as he is done, boom, another Teddy just goes right down. It is crazy how fast these Teddies come out of this guy. We had this Unlimited Teddy once before. Epic changed a bunch of stuff up on us. We lost the Unlimited Teddy, but Infinite Teddy is officially back for you guys that want to check this out. I highly, highly encourage you. If you like using Teddy, this build is the build for you. Now, with our second hero build, this is going to be our Broken Shock Tower build. As you can see, we're going to be running Wild Fragment Deadeye in the lead with his Static Cling Plus perk. Of course, we are running the Happy Holidays. We're going to keep our fragments up with our Fragment Generation and Impossibility Matrix. We are going to make sure that we give him some extra DPS on that Shock Tower with both Capacitor and up the voltage. And again, since we aren't running any survivability, we are going to run that Ghoulish Cackle in order to give ourselves that extra little nudge right there at the end to finish off any enemies that we might need to if we're running low on health. We do have the hover turret as well as adrenaline rush in order to make sure that we are able to stay alive. All right, now on the shock tower build, if you love the shock tower, you are gonna love the damage that this puts out. As you can see here, we are taking on a large encampment in a 100 plus zone all by ourselves. We're just dropping shock towers. We're supplementing with Teddy every so often when we can. With the Teddy, it's always going to help you generate more fragments for lower downtime on the tower, so you can drop this thing as fast as possible. You will need to use your weapon on this one a little bit, but as you can see, the shock tower is incredibly strong on this one, where all you do is hop into a group of enemies, drop the shock tower, and hop back out. It's really that easy. You're going to drop it in anywhere that you can find a group of enemies, in a spawn when you're defending, and of course you can run the turrets and throw those up every so often just to help yourself here. You can see that we are using that to our advantage. It does impact, so it is knocking the smasher down a little bit when he does go to charge our base, so it does protect us in that aspect. But guys, this shock tower is fantastic. I love the shock tower for how often you can drop it. It doesn't have the duration that I would love the way a Teddy or something like that does, but you can always supplement the shock tower with the Teddy by having that extra one in there, and it's certainly going to help you out. You're just dropping shock tower after shock tower after shock tower, and as you can see, it's just decimating entire groups of enemies whenever Wild Fragment drops that tower. Now our third build, the Teddy damage build, is going to be captained in the commander spot by none other than Trailblazer Quinn with her Berserker Plus, getting that extra Teddy DPS. We do have her running the Happy Holidays team perk, and again, we're trying to keep those fragments up for that Teddy, so we're going to be running the fragment generation as well as impossibility matrix. Now we do want to make sure we are giving her the extra Teddy damage, so we do have the overbearing for the distance as well as bear with me for that extra long bear if at all possible. We are going to be running survivalist with this, since we are going to be killing enemies pretty often. That'll give us enough survivability to stay up. In case we don't, of course, we do have our adrenaline rush. Now with the Teddy DPS build, our goal is to maximize Teddy damage as much as humanly possible. We're looking for low Teddy downtime. We want to just keep throwing the Teddy. Basically, our goal is to keep generating fragments, keep throwing a Teddy, and just stay alive because of it. You're going to see in the video, we have tons and tons of Teddy damage. Every time we drop it, it just decimates the enemies. Now, with this build, because it has the overbearing in there, if you can at all possible drop the Teddy a little further away from the enemies, you're actually going to generate more DPS on the enemies than if it was up close. However, I tend to drop it a lot in crowds. The only thing that I don't like about this one as much is that basically in order for this to work, you have to essentially not throw your shock tower as often, because otherwise what's going to happen is you're not going to have the fragments available to throw Teddy, and then you're going to be missing out on massive amounts of DPS. You can see here that it certainly takes care of enemies slowly, but in order to take care of this smasher here, we are going to drop the Teddy at a distance, and it's kind of clipping away at him. He's a little bit stuck on the rock up there, but you can see that we are doing a fair amount of damage. Now, if that Teddy was further away, it would certainly be better. Of course, the Teddy does stop the smasher charge, so it is nice that we are able to throw that down. And then, of course, with the second Teddy, it does make quick work of that smasher. Now, basically, we'll take a look here again. This is going to be another instance where we throw down the Teddy in front of a smasher and try to do a little more damage. This one, because the smasher is a little bit further away, you're going to see that it does clip off damage at a much faster pace on that smasher. When it's right up front there, the Teddy doesn't do as much damage with this one. You know, it does have the bear with me in there. The only thing is it doesn't have tons and tons of extra crit like some of the other stuff. The goal is just to kind of be a mix between keeping the Teddy up and, you know, getting Teddy damage on it. So you do have to compromise a little bit, because if you were to put more, say if you put a Jilly Teacup in this one to try to get that crit damage there, you're going to be missing out on some of either the fragment gen or the other damage that you're going to get. So it's kind of a trade-off. You could pull the survivalist out of this one and run it with the Jilly Teacup if you wanted to. I just didn't like it that way myself. Now for our fourth build in this one, we are going to be looking at Ice Queen. So the Ice Queen has seen a resurgence with this one. For you guys that haven't run her a whole lot, she is awesome. We're going to start her out in the commander spot with Cold to the Touch, plus we got our Happy Holidays team perk. Now, in order to keep her smashing as much as possible, we're going to run a Fault Line. We're going to run Sustained Smash. And for a little bit of extra energy damage at the end of the smash, we're going to be running 4 on the floor as well as Plasma Arc. Now, in order to stay alive, we are going to run Survivalist with her, and of course, Adrenaline Rush and Hover Turrets. Now, what you're going to find with this Ice Queen build, guys, is this thing is absolutely insane. Basically, it's got a crazy quick cooldown on the Seismic Smash. And the nice thing about this thing, and you're going to see it happen a couple times here, is this thing can actually stop takers, smashers, and blasters right in their tracks. So if you've ever had a problem in high-end zones where maybe they're giving you a little bit of trouble, this is definitely the one for you. You can see, boom, she just stops that taker right there and then just finishes it right off. Even in mobs, you can see as she rolls up on this mob down in this cave, she's just going to hit the Seismic Smash. It's going to take out darn near everyone, and the energy pulse on the end of that thing is going to practically finish them off. Again, taker, no problem. Freeze it, boom, shoot it, and it is gone. Now, with a little bit of practice, you can get the energy damage at the end to just kind of finish guys off. No matter how we use her, she is basically just stopping everybody cold. Here, we're doing a Storm Chest, and we're just playing with the takers at this point. The extra damage that it does, not only does it freeze the takers, it just stops them right dead there. Now, in our fifth and final build, probably my favorite build of all, it is a hybrid Teddy Shock Tower that I don't have to shoot anything in this build. I'm running Trailblazer Quinn with her Berserker Plus in the commander. Of course, Happy Holidays. We have a little bit of Bear perk with the Bear With Me and the Overbearing. And then, of course, the Under Warranty that Jilly Teacup provides. We are going to also add in Up the Voltage to give our Shock Tower a little bit of juice as well. We do have Survivalist in this one in order to make sure that we are getting that survivability that we desperately need. We do have the Adrenaline Rush as well as the Stationary Hover Turret in this one. With the Teddy Shock Tower combo, you basically have almost no downtime ever with this one. There's almost no need for weapons, as you will constantly be either dropping a Teddy or a Shock Tower. You have some Shock Tower perks, you have some Teddy perks, and between the two of them, your DPS is just going to be out of control. When I'm in a party with other people and I'm running this, even without shooting, I out DPS everyone else in the party by a mile. You'll see even in this Storm Chest here, we take care of it with almost no work whatsoever to put in. We drop a Teddy, wait till everybody comes in, drop a Shock Tower, drop another Shock Tower, and just keep rotating it. Every single time I run this build, I have 10k DPS or damage at the end of the mission or more, and everyone else is sitting around 3 or 4,000. No matter what the mission is, it's just out of control. There's almost no need for a gun with this because of the amount of DPS that you're putting out. You're either putting down a Teddy or you're putting down a shock tower, and this is going in with no charge fragments, mind you. So if we had a charge fragment that we could, you know, drop at the very beginning of this, we don't have anything in there generating fragments for us, which is a little bit of a downer, but we really don't need it. As you can see, the uptime is just ridiculous. We're either throwing a Teddy or we're throwing a shock tower. Either way, you have plenty of damage that you're going to be able to output with one of the two. We'll head over to this encampment right here, and you'll be able to see. We'll just wait for the enemies to spawn in. As soon as the enemies spawn in, you get a little bit of a crowd. You drop your Teddy down real quick. It's got the Teddy perks, and then boom, drop your shock tower. And it's just going to make real quick work of this mission here. Now, this is in a 100 zone like all these other ones that are on display, but do keep in mind that even though they're in a 100 zone, I am running this by myself. There's no one else in the party. I'm getting no buffs from anywhere for anything. It is just me and my Teddy and my shock tower on this one. So as you can see, we're just putting out ridiculous amounts of damage every chance we get by both of these items. This is by far my favorite one, guys. I think if you run this, you won't ever want to run anything else. Well, guys, that's about it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you do leave a like on the video if you did like it, and consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you know when my videos go live for you. I was only able to showcase 5 builds here, and I'm sure there are many others out there. If you know of any, feel free to drop them in the comments below or come hang out over on Twitch. Again, the link is in the description. And of course, as always, be good.